never been to prison before, and everybody in county jail is telling me while I'm waiting on the prison bus, you have to get into a gang. The part of prison you go to in Texas when you get a life sentence, it's a special kind of prison you have to go to. It's a level 5 prison. It's the highest secure level there is. It's the equivalent to, in the federal system, would be a USP. And lifers in Texas, there's a custody level law in Texas that if you get a life sentence, you have to live with other lifers only. You can't live in general population. They just don't want you to escape. They don't want you to get out. They want to break you when you get there. So everybody's telling me you have to get into a gang, except for one guy, this older black Muslim guy named Muhammad. And Muhammad's a career criminal. He's been in and out of prison his entire life. He's one of those guys, when you think about it, I'm in county jail. He's black. I'm white. The code in there says we're not supposed to talk to each other anyway. He's older. I'm younger. We don't have a lot in common. He's Muslim. I'm a Catholic. Like, in what world are we talking to each other? But he sought me out, right? And I think the point about this, what I'm about to share, is that the messengers in life can come from anywhere in life. And messengers don't always look like you. They don't come from the same background as you. But that's why they're the messenger. They bring a different message from a different place. And so Muhammad is the guy in county jail. He's telling me about what prison's going to be like. And he's telling me, it's all about race. He said, when you walk in the door, the race runs everything in there. Race is king. All the gangs are built around races. You're a white guy, the white gangs get the first dibs on you. If you survive the white gangs, you'll fight the black gangs. If you survive all this, you earn the right to walk alone. He's telling me things like the strongest man in prison always walks alone. You don't have to win all your fights. You got to fight all your fights. These things that sound motivational and good, but man, when he's telling me it's back 2009, I'm looking back at this guy like a deer in headlights. All this violence and terror I'm about to walk into. And that's when he's like, hey, let me break this down for you a different way. He said, I want you to imagine prison as a pot of boiling water. He said, anything we put into a pot of boiling water will be changed by the heat and the pressure inside the pot. He said, I'm going to put 3 things in the pot of boiling water and watch how they change. A carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean. So here's where I first heard the story of the coffee bean. It was the summer of 2009 in a jail cell in Dallas County Jail. 10 years before John Gordon and I write a best-selling book in 2019 called The Coffee Bean. So he starts off. He's like, hey, first things first. If I put a carrot in the pot of boiling water, what happens to the carrot? I'm like, the carrot's going to turn soft. He said, that's right. He said, but the carrot went in the water hard and firm. But the water, the prison, turned the hard carrot soft, mushy, weak. You don't want to be a carrot. He said, what about the egg? What happens to the egg in the pot of boiling water? I'm like, the egg is going to turn hard, like a hard-boiled egg. He said, that's right. He said, the egg has a shell that protects on the outside. But inside the shell, the soft liquid core, the yolk, the heart can become hardened. He said, now, if your heart becomes hardened, you become incapable of giving or receiving love. And he said, if you're incapable of giving or receiving love in the world you're going into, you don't come back as someone your parents recognize. Then he asked me, he said, what about the coffee bean? What happened to the coffee bean in the pot of boiling water? And I didn't have an answer for him on that one, Ian. I didn't know what happened to a coffee bean in a pot of boiling water. And that's when Muhammad shared with me one of the most important and transformational messages I've ever received in my life. He said, if I put a coffee bean in that same pot of boiling water we call prison, he said, now you got to change the name of the water to coffee. Because the coffee bean, the smallest of the 3 things, small like you, had the power to change the entire atmosphere inside that pot because the power's inside the coffee bean, just like the power's inside of you. And he said everything else in life is changed by the waters in life. Carrots are changed by the water, eggs are changed by the water, but not a coffee bean. The coffee bean is the only thing that will change the water because it is the change agent. And the last thing he said to me before I left county jail on a prison bus, he said, be a coffee bean.